Welcome to YLG TV. YLG TV is a production of the Urban Land Institute Los Angeles Young Leaders Group to give some one-on-one level information and guidance to our membership. YLG is a group of up-and-coming real estate professionals at all different levels in their careers who seek to learn from those who have achieved great success in real estate. Today we're here with Mr. Michael LoGrande, Director of City Planning for the City of Los Angeles. Mr. LoGrande took the helm as director in 2010 after a number of years as Chief Zoning Administrator for the city. He is one of the most influential people in Los Angeles, guiding the future development of the city. Mr. LoGrande, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
So, you're in charge of one of the largest city planning departments in the United States. Early in your career, did you ever envision yourself leading the City of Los Angeles Planning Department, or any planning department for that matter?
Yes, actually, it's a pretty funny question. I remember my first day in the department, I met my predecessor, Con Howe, and he was a plan director at the time, and we're having a great conversation, and we're talking about some issues facing Los Angeles. And I looked at him, and I kind of thought to myself, man, I think I could do his job. I was very naive at the time, so it kind of goes back to any time you're in your career, I think you need to look at your abilities and never count yourself out, and realize that when you're in something for the right reasons, the potential is really high. And so going into planning, wanting to give back to the city, wanting to be a public servant and work with people and work with communities in Los Angeles, and just make sure that we actually add context to the development process, and that we provide vision for the way Los Angeles grows, and make sure we preserve that character of our neighborhoods really drove me to this profession. And meeting my predecessors and being very in awe by them, but also looking at them and going, hey, these are human beings, these people that are running these departments, and I do feel that I have something to offer. And so that was kind of a very naive goal at the time, but it turned out okay.
And why did you choose the public sector as the private sector, or even stick with the public sector when obviously there's more opportunity potentially for gain in the private sector?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. My parents were both entrepreneurs or self-employed, and so I saw the ups and downs of our family income over the years. And so one of the things was I was very risk adverse at a young age. Employment-wise, I wanted something very secure, and I wanted to make sure that at the end of the day, my income was very stable, so that that's a good and bad thing. In a way, it made me risk adverse. Another way, it kind of drove me towards a stable career path, which many people at the time felt government provided that. Nowadays, with budget cuts, it's not always the case. There's a little diversity in both fields, but at the time, that's kind of what got me into looking at more stable employments than some of the entrepreneurial, more risky kind of endeavors many people take out of college.
There's been a lot of talk about the reorganization of the planning department and the merger with building and safety. As part of that, do you foresee a change in the number of positions within the new department, or change of responsibilities? For example, will zoning administrators have the same responsibilities? Will it change how projects are processed? And sort of as a follow-up, do you foresee any openings for young planners within the department?
Yeah, that's actually a great question, Russell. We are taking on something that's very bold and monumental. For the first time, we're really looking at the DNA of the development process in Los Angeles, making sure that it's customer-focused, we're not operating in silos, that the departments are talking to each other, and that the policies and the projects that we're working on them as one city, not multiple individual departments with individual personalities, but we're all looking at things from the same lens and making sure that we grow our city appropriately in a sustainable fashion. So one of the things by bringing these departments and realigning them, the goal is to provide better service, not to eliminate positions. We're trying to make sure that where we have areas where there's redundancies, we reduce those redundancies and don't make the applicant have to go through a maze of different bureaucratic processes to get to where we want them to be. So in terms of the future, seeing zoning administrators, you mentioned, doing different things, we're constantly reinventing ourselves in the way we do business. Our zoning administrators, for those of you who don't know, are really like almost municipal judges. They look at land use issues under the city charter, under our zoning codes, and anytime there's a deviation from that, many times they go through our zoning administrator's office. But the types of changes we're looking for is kind of making sure that staff, whether it's in the ZA's office or our inspectors who do a great job on the streets, right, we're communicating. anytime in Los Angeles we have a number of people working in different areas in the community, but they need to come back and share those experiences, what's going on in those neighborhoods, where we're having issues, where there's opportunities, and making sure that that common knowledge is being shared within city government. So I think there'll be a lot of change. Change is exciting, and we're ready to embrace it.
Great, thank you. More technical question. Technology is becoming a big part of planning now. And ZMIS, as you know, the city's online mapping and zoning system has been a huge success as a search tool for homeowners and businesses and developers. Do you see more use of the internet and technology, such as ZMIS, for permit applications, maybe live chats with the planner, potential streaming of planning commission hearings and these kinds of things?
Yes, definitely. For many of us, as right now you're filming with your iPhone, for many of us, the digital age is a way of life. It seems like I don't know how we got by without it in the past. So it's the same for the public. So a lot of our public outreach, we're utilizing Mind Mixer, for example, on our mobility element to make sure that we're reaching out to people who we never had access to before, who maybe can't take a day off work, but could definitely take a few minutes in the evening time to watch one of our broadcasts or one of our training sessions or to participate in a public process that we have going on. We're also making sure that our application process, if you're asking to do addition to your home, you may need some kind of zoning approval to make sure that that's available online, and that you can access city government by utilizing your computer rather than having to drive down to City Hall, pay for parking, or take the train in. Trying to be a lot more accessible to our customers and our constituents is a big goal of us at City Hall, and so we're definitely working towards that, making a major investment in technology to make it easier for people to interact with us, but also easier for the employees to be able to do their job in a more efficient and effective manner. So things like ZMIS, we just did a major enhancement to ZMIS. We're working on an exciting proposal called Build LA, where we'll have a single web portal for all development-related projects to go through, rather than going to individual departments' web pages, but be able to access everybody through the city's portal. So we're really excited about technology and how it actually helps us do our job better and deliver better services.
Great. And lastly, what's your advice to a young planner who wants to reimagine a city and get a job as a planner in LA or Southern California? Is there anything a young professional can do to prepare themselves?
Yeah, I think in my career, one of the beneficial aspects was having an internship. I think getting internships while you're in school is very important. Many of the people we hire today, we just hired 22 people into the planning department. Majority of those were actual planners, not support staff, and I would say 3/4 of them had done an internship with another government agency or with our own department. So I encourage people that are getting into any profession, especially the planning profession, to seek internships, especially if you're in a field that's very related to what you're doing. So if you're going into architecture, going into urban design, if you're going into a planning department, municipal government, making sure you have an internship there, even if it's not a paid internship, utilizing that time rather than working at Kinko's or FedEx or wherever you may be to pay your bills, making sure that you're trying to get some time in as an intern, and make sure, one, that you like the work you're doing, that you're in the right field, and that it excites you and gets you out of bed in the morning, but also it really is a resume builder. So it's very seldom that we hire somebody with the amount of people that are experienced out there, especially in this economy, that doesn't have some level of work experience, even at the entry level positions. And so I can't encourage people enough out there to obtain internships either from the city departments or a related field to make sure you're getting that kind of grassroots experience. One, to make sure you're on the right career path, but also to give yourself a chance of employment.
Mr. LoGrande, thank you for taking part in our Q&A. We really appreciate your time and your guidance.
Thank you.